I just lived, day after day, until an old artifact flashed in my hands, and then they appeared, the women of prophecy, whose eyes saw not me, but my fate, and I realized that my life did not belong to me. My name is Arthur Vance. Or, it used to be. I was a librarian, a quiet man of forgotten texts and dusty archives. My days were a predictable symphony of cataloging, research, and the comforting creak of old bindings. I valued my quiet routines, my small choices, what to eat for lunch, which dusty volume to tackle next, whether to take the scenic route home. Freedom, for me, was in the mundane. It was a comfortable illusion. That illusion shattered on a Tuesday. Not with a bang, but with a hum. A deep, resonant hum that vibrated in my teeth and rattled the ancient parchment. I was in a forgotten sub-basement of the municipal archives, a place rarely visited, rumored to hold obscure historical anomalies. My current project, a collection of pre-cataclysmic devotional artifacts, unearthed from a remote desert dig. Most were mundane, chipped idols, faded scrolls, cracked ceremonial masks. Then I found it dash. Hidden beneath a pile of millennia-old prayer beads nestled in a lead-lined box. It wasn't large, no bigger than my palm. A sphere of polished, obsidian-like material, utterly smooth, devoid of any markings. It radiated no heat, no energy signature my handheld scanner could detect. It simply was dash. But when my fingers closed around it, something shifted. Not in the room, but in the air itself. The ambient light in the basement, usually dim and flickering, seemed to pulse, to brighten with an unseen energy. The hum intensified, vibrating through my bones, reverberating directly in my skull. It felt ancient, alive. My internal monologue, usually so grounded in logic, screamed with a primal, inchoate fear. What have I done? The obsidian sphere, cold and inert moments before, now throbbed with a faint inner light. Patterns, like constellations, began to shimmer across its surface, shifting, coalescing, then dissolving. They weren't static. They flowed like liquid starlight. And as I watched, mesmerized, a sudden, blinding flash erupted from the sphere, filling the entire basement with an ethereal, cosmic light. When the light receded, they were there. 3 of them, standing amongst the dusty shelves, where moments before there had been nothing but shadows and forgotten history. They hadn't walked in. They had simply manifested. They were exquisitely beautiful, predominantly human-like, yet utterly otherworldly. Their hair, 2 of them, cascaded around them like living nebulae, one a deep, shifting violet that seemed to absorb and emit light, the other a shimmering, iridescent silver, like spun moonlight. The third's hair was the color of a midnight sky, shot through with faint, glowing streaks. Their skin was unnaturally pale, almost translucent, and as I watched, faint, intricate patterns, like glowing ley lines, pulsed beneath the surface of their forearms, radiating a soft, inner luminescence. Their eyes shimmered with inner light, not reflecting light, but emitting it, holding galaxies within their depths. They wore robes of a fabric I couldn't identify, a shimmering material that seemed to breathe, to flow like liquid shadows. Their movements were ancient, graceful, utterly serene. They radiated an aura of profound wisdom, of cosmic understanding that transcended my earthly comprehension. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drum in the suffocating silence. My rational mind, conditioned by years of empirical data, struggled to process the impossible. My mouth was dry. I couldn't speak. The one with the violet hair, her eyes glowing with an intense, captivating light, stepped forward. Her voice, when she spoke, was not heard with my ears, but resonated directly in my mind, a soft, ethereal chime that seemed to echo through the very fabric of existence. "Greetings, Arthur Vance," she said, her tone calm, ancient, utterly devoid of surprise. "You have awakened the Echo Stone, and with it, your purpose." My purpose? I was a librarian. My purpose was to catalog books, to organize knowledge, not to awaken cosmic artifacts. Who are you? I projected, my mental voice trembling. "We are the Weavers of Fate." A second voice chimed in, equally ancient and resonant, from the one with silver hair, her glowing skin patterns intensifying as she spoke. "The guardians of the destined path, the fulfillers of the grand prophecy." The third, whose midnight hair flowed with glowing streaks, remained silent, her eyes, deep and knowing, fixed on me, seeing not me dash, but something far beyond. A sequence of events, a thread in a tapestry, prophecy. I whispered, my voice barely a tremor in the stillness. I don't understand. Your understanding is merely a matter of time, little human. The violet-haired one responded, her luminous eyes holding mine with an unsettling intensity. For eons, we have awaited this moment. Your touch on the echo stone, the awakening of the path. Her alluring nature wasn't conventional. It was the terrifying, intoxicating draw of something truly ancient, truly powerful, something that held the threads of time and destiny in its delicate, glowing hands. The profound wisdom radiating from them, the serene conviction that my life, my choices, were merely steps on a predetermined path, was both chilling and undeniably captivating. I was drawn to them, not by desire, but by an overwhelming, primal need to comprehend, to grasp the cosmic truth they embodied. Your life, Arthur Vance, the silver-haired one continued, her voice like distant chimes, has been a prelude. Every step, every decision, every seemingly random choice has led you to this exact moment. To us, to your true role. My mind reeled. Free will? An illusion? My comfortable life, my small choices, were they merely intricate clockwork mechanisms, ticking towards a predetermined outcome? The thought was profoundly unsettling, a cosmic horror far grander than any monster. The echo stone, still glowing in my hand, pulsed in rhythm with my frantic heartbeat. The oracles, the destiny weavers, they were here because of me, and they knew everything. Not just my past, but my future, my very destiny. What do you want from me? I asked, a desperate plea for clarity, for agency. The violet-haired oracle extended a translucent hand. Her skin patterns glowed with a soft, inviting light. To witness the truth, Arthur Vance. To embrace your purpose. To fulfill the grand prophecy. You are the chosen thread, the key to the unraveling, or the reweaving. Her touch, when it came, was not physical, but a soft, ethereal pressure against my mind. A torrent of images, visions, slammed into my consciousness. Flickering stars dying, entire galaxies collapsing, ancient civilizations crumbling into dust. And then a single, brilliant light, a cosmic birth, a reordering of reality. And in the center of it all, a faint, shimmering outline of me. The burden of prophecy, the cosmic allure of predestination, had just truly begun. My struggle against a seemingly inevitable path, my fight for individual agency against these beings who perceive time and fate differently, would be a desperate, agonizing battle. And the dangerous, almost spiritual attraction to those who held the threads of my fate, who embodied cosmic truth, had just become the terrifying center of my existence. My life, indeed, no longer felt like my own. ##### The Seal of Prophecy, Part 1. The Echo and the Unveiling. The images slammed into my mind, a relentless torrent. Galaxies swirling like spilled ink, stars exploding in silent fire, planets cracking open like ancient eggs. Then, creation. New constellations forming, life blooming on impossible worlds, and through it all, a constant, underlying hum. The grand prophecy, and my place within it, a fragile, insignificant speck, yet somehow pivotal. My mind, calibrated for library indexes and historical footnotes, was shattering under the weight of cosmic truth. You have seen a glimpse of what is to come. The violet-haired oracle's voice, Aliena, resonated within my mind, a gentle chime that somehow cut through the chaotic visions. Her luminous eyes, filled with cosmic knowledge, watched my every tremor. The great undoing. The rebirth. It is the cycle of all things. And you, Arthur Vance, are its fulcrum. Fulcrum? I was a librarian. My most exciting day involved finding a misplaced intergalactic shipping manifest. Now I was the linchpin of cosmic creation and destruction. My internal monologue, a desperate attempt to ground myself, screamed in denial. This isn't real. This is a dream. A hallucination from some ancient gas leak. It is real, Arthur, the silver-haired oracle, Seraphina, added, her voice like distant chimes, her translucent skin pulsing with faint, glowing patterns. And your denial is part of the tapestry, a necessary resistance to strengthen the thread. The third, whose midnight hair held streaks of pure starlight, Nyx, remained silent, her unblinking gaze unervingly fixed on me. She seemed to embody the profound, unsettling connection to fate, her presence a silent testament to the chilling beauty of a universe where free will might truly be an illusion. They lifted me, not physically, but with a subtle manipulation of the air currents, or perhaps gravity itself. I floated, weightless, from the dusty basement through the very walls of the archives, as if they were made of mist. The city lights below, the distant hum of civilian transports, it all seemed impossibly small, inconsequential. My routine, my comfortable life, was already a distant memory. We arrived at their sanctuary. It was not a building, not a place, but a nexus. An ethereal space, bathed in soft, shifting light, where dimensions seemed to converge. Walls of shimmering energy, transparent yet solid, twisted into impossible geometries. Pillars of pure starlight rose from a floor that felt like polished stardust, stretching into a ceiling that was an ever-changing tapestry of nebulae and nascent galaxies. The air hummed with cosmic energy, a pervasive, ancient thrum that vibrated in my soul, not my bones. "This is the Chamber of Threads," Aliana announced, her voice resonating through the vast space. "Where the patterns of destiny are observed. Where the past, present, and future are one." She waved a hand, and the shimmering walls around us shifted. Images coalesced within them, glimpses of my own life, moments I thought were random. My decision to take that specific research project. The sudden, inexplicable urge to explore the sub-basement. Even the exact trajectory of my hand as I reached for the Echo Stone. All of it, laid bare, revealed as a sequence of predetermined events leading inexorably to this moment. "Your choices," Arthur, Seraphina said, her voice gentle, yet firm, were always the choices you would make. The path was set long before you walked it. You merely followed the script. My initial awe, my fleeting fascination with their otherworldly beauty and power, gave way to a growing unease. A cold dread seeped into my core. My choices were disappearing. My free will, my very essence, was being reduced to an elaborate charade. "No," I whispered, my mental voice barely a threat. "No, that's not true. I chose to come here. I chose to touch the stone." Nyx, the silent oracle, finally spoke. Her voice was like the soft whisper of creation, or the profound silence of the void. "You chose what was preordained for you to choose, little human. The river flows to the sea. The stars follow their appointed paths. You are no different." Their profound wisdom, their serene conviction that I was merely a crucial part of an ancient prophecy, was devastating. The alluring power they possessed, their ability to perceive and perhaps manipulate fate, clashed violently with my desperate need for self-determination. Aliana then presented the core of the prophecy. "A schism approaches, Arthur. A tearing of the very fabric of reality. A cosmic discord, threatening to unravel existence itself. Your role is to bridge the chasm, to mend the tear, to set the universe back on its true course." She projected images into my mind, a colossal rift, tearing through the cosmos, consuming stars and dimensions. And then, my hand, extended, pouring light into the void, healing the wound. The scale of it was unfathomable. The burden, unbearable. How? How am I supposed to do this? I demanded, my mental voice rising in desperation. "I'm just a librarian. I have no powers, no cosmic abilities." Seraphina's voice was calm, reassuring, yet utterly unsettling. "You possess a unique resonance, Arthur. A singular frequency attuned to the cosmic tapestry. The Echo Stone merely awakened it. We will guide you. We will show you the way." And their guidance began. They didn't command. They simply presented. Visions, dreams, subtle nudges in my perception. I'd accidentally stumble upon ancient texts in the Chamber of Threads that spoke of forgotten cosmic energies. I'd dream of intricate geometric patterns that, upon waking, I could replicate with uncanny precision. They were pulling me deeper into their world, into their predetermined path, with a chilling elegance. My internal monologues became a constant, desperate argument against the inevitable. I can fight this. I can choose. I am not a pawn. I am Arthur Vance. But every attempt to deviate, every choice I try to make outside their subtle orchestration, seemed to lead me right back to their intended path. A door I tried to open would be inexplicably locked. A passage I tried to take would be blocked by a sudden, inexplicable energy fluctuation. It was as if the universe itself conspired to keep me on my fated course. Their allure, once ethereal, was now almost spiritual. I was drawn to their serene conviction, to the profound certainty in their eyes. They were the embodiment of cosmic truth, and I, a mere human, was being woven into their ancient, beautiful design. The chilling beauty of a universe where free will might be an illusion, and the profound, unsettling connection to those who embodied cosmic truth had begun to consume my very essence. My destiny was intrinsically woven with their ancient mission, and the fight for individual agency was becoming an increasingly desperate, profoundly lonely battle. ###The Seal of Prophecy, Part 2, The Threads of Illusion. The Chamber of Threads became my new prison, albeit one of exquisite, cosmic beauty. Days, weeks, perhaps even months blurred into a timeless flow. The oracles, Aliana, Seraphina, Nyx, were my constant companions, their luminous presence a subtle, pervasive hum in the background of my consciousness. They never slept, never tired, their ancient eyes eternally fixed on the shifting patterns of fate. My internal struggle against the prophecy was relentless. Every new vision, every cryptic instruction, felt like another thread tightening around my will. I tried to assert my agency in small ways. When Aliana guided me towards a specific constellation of glowing energies, I would deliberately attempt to focus on another, seemingly random pattern. But my mind would invariably snap back, pulled by an unseen force, back to the intended path. "Your resistance is inefficient, Arthur," Seraphina's voice would chime, devoid of judgment, merely an observation. "The river carves its own path, but it still flows to the sea. Your efforts to deviate," Aliana added, her voice profound and calm, "are merely foreseen detours. They strengthen the thread. They do not break it." They demonstrated the futility of fighting fate with chilling elegance. One cycle, a vision showed me a crucial component for the prophecy, a fragment of solidified starlight, hidden deep within a treacherous cosmic anomaly. My inner defiance flared. I decided I would not seek it out. I would deliberately ignore their guidance. Instead, I focused on a different anomaly, one the oracles hadn't mentioned. For a brief, exhilarating moment, I felt a surge of triumph. I was making my own choice. I navigated the subtle energies, ignoring the faint, guiding nudges from the oracles, pushing my will against the flow. Then, disaster. The anomaly reacted violently, twisting into a chaotic vortex that threatened to tear my consciousness apart. Pain, sharp and searing, lanced through my mind. I was flung back, battered, disoriented, my senses overwhelmed by a maelstrom of raw cosmic energy. As I struggled to regain my bearings, Aliana's calm voice resonated. "A perilous path, Arthur, one not meant for your journey. The consequences of such deviation are clear." And there, gleaming faintly within the now subdued anomaly, was the very fragment of solidified starlight I had initially refused to seek. It had been there all along, beckoning from the true path, hidden behind the chaos of my defiance. My choice to resist had merely led me through a more painful, circuitous route, only to arrive at the same predetermined destination. The realization was a crushing blow. It was as if the universe itself was designed to funnel me towards my destiny, punishing any deviation. My choices weren't my own. They were merely the illusion of agency within a grand, predetermined design. My attraction to their enigmatic power, once a dangerous fascination, now bordered on a terrifying reverence. They weren't just wise, they were wisdom. They didn't just perceive fate, they were fate, in a sense, living embodiments of cosmic truth. Their serene conviction was unshakable because they lived within the flow of destiny. I began to learn more about the oracles themselves. Nyx, the Silent One, was the oldest, her gaze encompassing millennia. Her skin, the most translucent, sometimes revealed faint, swirling patterns of pure light beneath, like galaxies trapped beneath flesh. She was the anchor, the one who held the deepest connection to the cosmic tapestry. Aliana, the violet-haired, was the seer, the interpreter of the grand design. Her visions were the most vivid, her pronouncements the most direct, though still couched in ancient, enigmatic terms. She was the bridge between the cosmic and the mortal, attempting to communicate the ineffable. Seraphina, the silver-haired, was the weaver, the one who subtly nudged the threads, ensuring the path remained true. Her actions were never overt, always a whisper in the flow of events, a gentle realigning of circumstances. She embodied the captivating power of gentle manipulation, ensuring the predetermined narrative unfolded precisely as it was meant to. They weren't emotionless, not entirely. There was a profound, ancient weariness in their luminous eyes, a subtle sorrow that hinted at the burden of their eternal sight. They saw all possibilities, all outcomes, yet they were bound by the very fate they guarded. They, too, were threads in a larger, incomprehensible design, fulfilling a purpose they could not escape. They were not malicious. They were simply agents of destiny. "We bear the weight of all timelines," Nyx once whispered, her voice resonating with an echo of cosmic sorrow. The joy, the sorrow, the inevitable. It is a heavy sight. I started to understand the true weight of the prophecy. It wasn't just about saving the universe. It was about my transformation, my surrender to a role I had never asked for. It hinted at sacrifices, not just of my free will, but perhaps of something far greater. My destined role felt less like a heroic undertaking and more like a cosmic sacrifice, a preordained function. The chilling beauty of a universe where free will might be an illusion was becoming my lived reality. My struggle for individual agency was exhausting, futile. The dangerous, almost spiritual, attraction to these beings who held the threads of my fate, who embodied cosmic truth, had evolved into a complex blend of reverence, fear, and a strange, unsettling acceptance. My destiny was intrinsically woven with their ancient mission, and the path, however inevitable, continued to unfold. ###The Seal of Prophecy, Part 3, The Burden and the Nexus. The Chamber of Threads, once a realm of terrifying novelty, began to feel like my only reality. The outside world, the library, the mundane choices of Arthur Vance, faded into distant, blurry memories. My connection to the oracles deepened, a profound, unsettling bond woven from shared purpose and the inescapable pull of destiny. I was no longer merely a human among them. I felt like a part of them, a nascent thread within their ancient tapestry. My internal monologues, once filled with defiance, now held a new, heavy resignation. What if free will truly is a delusion? What if my struggle is just part of the grand play? The idea was both terrifying and strangely liberating. If my choices didn't matter, then the burden of making them vanished. But so too did the essence of my individuality. The oracles continued to reveal aspects of the prophecy, each revelation a heavier weight on my soul. The schism they spoke of was not merely a tear in space-time, but a fundamental misalignment of cosmic principles, a disharmony that threatened to silence the very song of existence. My role, they explained, was to become a conduit, a living bridge for a specific cosmic energy, the echo resonance, to flow through me, realigning the fractured reality. The resonance is pure, Aliana explained, her luminous eyes distant, as if seeing beyond the chamber. But the process requires a complete surrender, a merging of your unique frequency with the cosmic flow. It will redefine you. Redefine. I projected, a flicker of my old self, my fear of losing who I was. Seraphina's voice was soft, compassionate, yet chillingly detached. The self, as you know it, is but a fleeting composition, Arthur. a temporary arrangement of energies. To mend the universe, you must allow yourself to be rearranged. Nyx, the silent oracle, shifted her position slightly, her pale skin glowing with an increased intensity, the inner cosmic patterns visibly swirling. Her gaze, fixed on some unseen point in the future, seemed to carry the weight of all existence. The price of reweaving is dissolution, a sacrifice of the individual for the continuity of the whole. Dissolution, sacrifice. The words hung heavy in the ethereal air. My destiny wasn't to be a hero, but a tool, a means to an end. The chilling beauty of their purpose, their profound, unwavering commitment to cosmic balance, was now a source of deep, existential dread. My attraction to their enigmatic power clashed violently with this terrifying burden. I learned of the oracle's own origins. They were not born, as humans understood it. They were aspects of the cosmic tapestry, manifestations of the universe's will to preserve itself. Their lineage stretched back to the primordial chaos, observers and subtle guides through countless cycles of creation and destruction. They had no free will, not in the human sense. They were destiny, living embodiments of the predetermined flow. This explained their serene conviction, their detachment, and their subtle weariness. They knew the end of every story before it even began, and they could not escape their own fate. We are merely the hands of what is to be, Seraphina chimed, a faint sadness in her voice, barely perceptible, bound by the very threads we guard. My contemplation deepened. If they, beings of such immense power and ancient wisdom, were merely cosmic instruments, what hope did a human like me have for individual agency? The concept of free will began to feel like a cruel joke, a comforting lie we tell ourselves to escape the terrifying truth of our predetermined paths. The training intensified. It wasn't physical, it was a profound psychic conditioning. They guided me through complex meditations, forcing my mind to resonate with specific cosmic frequencies. They showed me how to draw the echo resonance, not from an artifact, but from the very fabric of reality, a shimmering, invisible energy that permeated all things. The process was agonizing. My mind screamed, stretched beyond its limits, as it struggled to contain energies it was never meant to comprehend. Visions of collapsing stars and silent screams of dying galaxies filled my inner eye. Eliana was always there, her guiding presence a subtle light in the darkness of my mind. Seraphina would weave subtle pathways, making the unbearable just bearable. Nyx, the silent observer, would occasionally touch my forehead, a jolt of ancient energy passing through me, calming the psychic storm, solidifying my resolve. The intimacy of their shared, predetermined fate, of their quiet, knowing presence, was a captivating force. I was surrendering, not to them, but to the destiny they represented. The time for the activation drew near. The chamber of threads began to pulse with a heightened energy, the starlight walls shimmering with increased intensity. The grand prophecy, they revealed, would reach its climax at a specific cosmic alignment, the conjunction of the whispering spheres, a rare celestial event that opened a temporary conduit to the fractured reality. The moment approaches, Arthur, Eliana's voice resonated, profound and ancient. The veil thins. The schism deepens. Your resonance must be absolute, Seraphina urged, her voice a soft, insistent chime. Pure. Undisturbed. Nyx, her inner light glowing brightly, her gaze fixed on the shimmering walls that showed the impending alignment, finally spoke. Her voice was deeper now, filled with the vastness of the cosmos. Remember your purpose, little human. The light within. The bridge. I felt the pull. The cosmic energy was building, a crescendo of unseen forces. My mind, now profoundly altered by their conditioning, was humming with a newfound awareness. I could feel the fracturing reality, a discordant note in the universal symphony. This was it. The climax. The moment of my choice. Or the illusion of it. I was about to confront the core of my purpose, to become the conduit, to either heal the universe or be consumed by its breaking. The oracles watched, their ethereal beauty radiating immense, ancient power, their silent guidance a constant pressure, revealing the terrifying depth of their influence. My destiny, predetermined for eons, was unfolding, and I was merely a passenger on a cosmic river, flowing towards an inevitable, terrifying, and profoundly beautiful conclusion. My existence was bound to theirs, a cosmic truth I could no longer deny. #####The seal of prophecy, Part 4. The conjunction and the unraveling. The chamber of threads vibrated with an escalating hum, a deep, resonant thrum that permeated every fiber of my being. The starlight walls pulsed in erratic rhythms, mirroring the tumultuous cosmic alignment outside. The conjunction of the whispering spheres. It was here. The air crackled with raw, untamed energy, the very fabric of reality thinning, groaning under the strain of the approaching schism. My internal monologue was no longer a frantic argument, but a quiet, almost serene acceptance. This is it. The end of Arthur Vance. The beginning of whatever comes next. The conditioning, the relentless psychic immersion, had worn down my resistance, not through force, but through an insidious, pervasive understanding. Free will, I now saw, was merely a construct of limited perception. The cosmic dance was far grander, far more intricate than any individual choice. The oracles stood before me, their presence immense, luminous. Eliana, her violet hair rippling with unseen currents, her eyes glowing like distant supernovas. Seraphina, her silver hair shimmering, her translucent skin radiating a soft, steady light, a beacon of calm in the escalating energy. Nyx, the silent oracle, her inner patterns glowing with an almost blinding intensity, her gaze locked on the collapsing barrier between dimensions. They were not merely observing. They were channeling the energy, their ancient bodies acting as conduits, stabilizers for the immense forces now converging. The moment has arrived, Arthur. Eliana's voice resonated, no longer just in my mind, but echoing through the chamber, profound and ancient. The nexus opens. The schism calls for its bridge. Visions, stark and vivid, flooded my consciousness, the universe unraveling like a frayed tapestry, stars winking out of existence, dimensions bleeding into each other in a chaotic maelstrom. And then, the faint, shimmering outline of myself, standing at the precipice, a conduit of cosmic light. The weight of the prophecy, the burden of this destined role, was crushing, yet imbued with an unsettling beauty. To be a part of something so grand, even as a sacrificial tool, was a terrifying privilege. Your frequency must align, Seraphina urged, her voice a soft, insistent chime that permeated the cosmic hum. No resistance, only surrender. Become the flow. Nyx, her hand slowly extending, not towards me, but towards the shimmering void that was beginning to tear open in the center of the chamber, finally spoke. Her voice, deep and resonant, was like the very voice of the cosmos, ancient and powerful. The echo resonance awaits its vessel. Yield. I felt the pull, an irresistible force, drawing me towards the tearing void. It was the call of my purpose, the ultimate fulfillment of my predetermined path. My body, my mind, every atom of my being resonated with a frequency I now understood was unique to me, specifically calibrated for this moment. This wasn't choice. This was inevitability. I raised my hands, mirroring Nyx's gesture, my mind open, my will utterly surrendered. I became a hollow vessel, ready to receive the raw, untamed echo resonance. The glow beneath the oracle's skin intensified, pulsing in sync with the cosmic tearing. They were preparing the path, channeling the energies, ensuring the intricate dance of destiny unfolded precisely as foreseen. Then, the void widened, a gaping maw of nothingness, yet filled with a terrifying, silent roar that reverberated through my very soul. The schism. It was here, and from its depths, a shimmering, almost liquid light began to flow. The echo resonance. It was pure, overwhelming, and impossibly beautiful. It was the very essence of universal harmony, fractured and now seeking reunification. It poured into me, not as a physical sensation, but as a total integration. My consciousness expanded, stretching beyond the confines of my body, beyond the chamber, beyond the very dimensions. I was no longer Arthur Vance, librarian. I was a conduit, a bridge, a living connection to the cosmic tapestry. The luminous patterns on the oracle's skin flared, their eyes shining with an ancient intensity as they observed the intricate process, subtly guiding the flow, ensuring my resonance was perfectly aligned. The pain was immense. My body, my human form, was a mere shell, struggling to contain energies that were magnitudes beyond its capacity. I felt myself stretching, tearing, dissolving. My identity, my memories, my very sense of self. They were fragmenting, dissolving into the vastness of the cosmic flow. It was the dissolution Nix had spoken of, the sacrifice. But there was also an indescribable ecstasy, a profound, overwhelming sense of unity with all things. I was the stars. I was the void. I was the beginning and the end. My individual agency had vanished, but in its place, a terrifying, beautiful connection to cosmic truth, to a purpose far grander than any human could comprehend. Aliana, her gaze unwavering, projected a final thought into my merging consciousness. You fulfill the prophecy, Arthur. You mend the tear. The cycle continues. Seraphina's voice, a soft, farewell chime. Your journey is complete. Your purpose achieved. Nyx, the silent oracle, her cosmic eyes filled with profound knowing, simply watched, her presence a silent, eternal testament to the unyielding power of destiny. The process reached its peak. The echo resonance flowed through me, a pure river of light, pouring into the gaping schism, reweaving the fragmented reality. The tearing void began to shrink, to mend, its silent roar softening into a profound, harmonious hum. The universe, shattered for a fleeting cosmic instant, was knitting itself back together. And then, silence. The light receded. The intense energy in the chamber subsided. The schism was gone. The cosmos, once again, was whole. My consciousness, or what remained of it, snapped back, brutally, painfully, into the confines of my physical body. I collapsed, gasping for breath, lying on the stardust floor of the chamber of threads. My physical form was intact, but utterly ravaged. My mind was an empty vessel, filled with the echoes of cosmic harmony and the chilling knowledge of absolute predestination. The oracles were gone, vanished as subtly as they had appeared. The chamber of threads was empty, save for myself and the faint, residual hum of cosmic energy. They had completed their mission, and I, Arthur Vance, the ordinary librarian, had fulfilled my predetermined role. ##### The Seal of Prophecy, Part 5, The Aftermath and Eternal Questions. The silence in the chamber of threads was absolute, broken only by the ragged sound of my own breathing. The profound energies had receded, leaving behind an unsettling stillness. The starlight walls still shimmered, but with a muted, almost melancholic glow. The oracles, the weavers of fate, had vanished, their presence now merely a lingering echo in my profoundly altered mind. My body ached with an unfamiliar, deep fatigue, as if every cell had been stretched and realigned. I lay on the polished stardust floor, unable to move, my senses overwhelmed by the sheer aftermath of experiencing a cosmic event. My physical form was unchanged, yet I knew, with a chilling certainty, that the ordinary man named Arthur Vance was no more. My mind, once filled with the mundane details of daily life, was now an empty cavern, yet strangely vast. The constant stream of thoughts, the internal monologues that once defined my individuality, had been replaced by a profound, pervasive stillness. I was no longer thinking in words, but in patterns, frequencies, echoes of the cosmic resonance that had flowed through me. I slowly pushed myself up, my limbs heavy, my movements uncoordinated. I walked to the shimmering wall, the one that used to show glimpses of my preordained past. Now, it reflected nothing but an empty, vast cosmic canvas. The images, the threads of fate, were gone. Or perhaps, they were all around me, and I simply saw them differently. My connection to the oracles, once a terrifying fascination, was now a deep, unsettling part of my very being. I could still feel their presence, not as individual entities, but as a collective consciousness, a subtle hum in the cosmic background. Their ancient wisdom, their detached conviction in the inevitability of fate, it was now my wisdom, my conviction. The chilling beauty of a universe where free will was an illusion was no longer just a concept. It was my inescapable reality. I tried to recall my old life. The library. The books. My small apartment. The faces of my colleagues. They were there, fragmented, distant, like scenes from a dream. They held no emotional resonance. They were just data points. My personal freedom, my choices, they seemed laughably naive now, flimsy constructs in the face of universal design. The prophecy had been fulfilled. The universe, by their reckoning, was saved. But at what cost to me? I was alive, yes. But who was I? A cosmic pawn, forever burdened by knowledge that separated me irrevocably from humanity. My choice to surrender had been an illusion, the inevitable outcome of a predetermined path. And the ambiguity of that choice would forever haunt me. I wandered the silent, empty chamber of threads for what felt like an eternity. Time, too, seemed to have lost its meaning. There was only the continuous now. I no longer felt hunger or thirst. My biological needs seemed to have become secondary, almost irrelevant. Then, a subtle shift in the ambient energy. A whisper of change in the pervasive cosmic hum. The chamber's exit, previously a seamless wall of starlight, shimmered and transformed, revealing a passage to the outside world. It was an invitation, or a dismissal. I stepped through, into the familiar, yet now utterly alien, environment of the municipal archives basement. The dust motes danced in the single, flickering overhead light. The scent of old paper and forgotten history filled the air. The echo stone, lying discarded on the floor, was once again dull, inert, its inner light extinguished. The world was the same, but I was not. I walked out of the archives, into the bustling city streets. People hurried past, caught in their own routines, their own illusions of choice and free will. They laughed, they argued, they worried about traffic and bills. I saw them as intricate clockwork mechanisms, each movement a predetermined dance, a beautiful, fragile illusion of agency. The sun was setting, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. A beautiful sunset. But I saw not just color, but the precise wavelengths of light, the gravitational forces holding the atmosphere, the inexorable rotation of the planet on its fated path. I saw the underlying patterns, the cosmic threads that connected every single thing, every single event. I was free, in a sense, free from the burden of choice, free from the anguish of uncertainty. But it was a chilling freedom, a profound loneliness. The oracles were gone, but their legacy, their knowledge, resided within me. Their presence was a constant, internal reminder of the threads of fate, of a grand design that encompassed all, consumed all. Sometimes, in the quiet moments of the night, when the city slept and the stars shimmered in the polluted sky, I would feel a faint resonance, a subtle echo of the cosmic hum. And in the periphery of my vision, I would glimpse faint, ethereal patterns, like glowing ley lines, shimmering on my own pale skin. A constant reminder of the echo resonance that still flowed within me. I would live, of course. My physical body would continue its predetermined existence. I would walk among humans, observe their routines, their illusions of free will. But I was no longer one of them. I was a living relic, a remnant of a cosmic event, forever burdened by the knowledge of what truly lay beneath the surface of reality. The profound, unsettling connection to those who embodied cosmic truth, the oracles, had transformed me. My fate had been sealed, my purpose fulfilled, and I was left with the chilling beauty of a universe where free will might indeed be an illusion, and the profound, terrifying beauty of being part of something far grander, far more ancient, and far more inexorable than oneself. The cosmic allure of predestination had claimed me, and I was, irrevocably, its own.